Have you ever noticed how your blood sugar doesn't behave quite the way it used to? Maybe you eat something that once felt harmless, but now your energy crashes, or your blood sugar monitor shows numbers that surprise you. After 60, the body changes in ways that make managing diabetes a whole new challenge. The foods that once seemed safe might suddenly work against you, while others can become powerful allies in keeping your numbers steady and your energy strong. That's why today we're talking about something very close to your kitchen and your dinner plate: vegetables. Yes, vegetables can be your best friends, or surprisingly, your worst enemies when it comes to diabetes management after 60. And the truth is, not all vegetables are created equal. Some can gently support your blood sugar, protect your heart, and give your body the nutrients it needs to thrive. But others can send your glucose soaring and quietly chip away at your health. In this conversation, we're going to explore 4 of the best vegetables you can rely on and 4 of the worst ones you may need to limit or avoid. The goal is not to make eating complicated, but to help you choose smarter, so that every meal brings you closer to balance, energy, and health. Let's begin with one of the most powerful green allies you can add to your plate: spinach. Spinach may look delicate, but don't let its soft leaves fool you. For seniors managing diabetes, spinach is like a shield of protection. It has an extremely low glycemic index of just 15, which means it barely nudges your blood sugar. But that's only the beginning. Spinach is packed with magnesium, a mineral that plays a key role in insulin sensitivity. Large-scale studies, including one in Shanghai involving over 64,000 people, show that magnesium can lower the risk of type 2 diabetes and improve how your body uses insulin. And the best part? Just a single cup of cooked spinach gives you more than 130 milligrams of this blood sugar-supporting mineral. But the benefits don't stop there. Spinach is also rich in nitrates, which relax blood vessels and lower blood pressure. For anyone over 60 with diabetes, protecting the heart is just as important as controlling glucose, because the two are deeply connected. In fact, research has shown that eating spinach can reduce arterial stiffness in just a week, which means your heart and blood vessels are under less strain. On top of that, spinach contains antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin, which specifically protect the eyes against diabetic damage. Eye health is a serious concern for seniors with diabetes, and spinach offers natural support in keeping vision clearer for longer. And if you've ever worried about diabetes speeding up aging, spinach also contains alpha-lipoic acid and other compounds that help fight the very molecules that accelerate aging and diabetic complications. Think of it as nature's way of slowing the clock just a little. Adding spinach doesn't need to be complicated. Toss it into a smoothie, sauté it with garlic, or add it to soups. Simple, tasty, and powerful. Now let's move from leafy greens to a vegetable that looks like little green trees: broccoli. Most of us grew up hearing it's good for us, but for seniors with diabetes, broccoli goes beyond good. It works almost like medicine. Researchers have discovered that broccoli extract can lower fasting blood sugar by as much as 10%. That's the same level of effect as some diabetes medications, but it comes straight from nature, without a prescription bottle. The secret lies in a compound called sulforaphane. This sulfur-rich nutrient improves how your body responds to insulin and protects your cells from the damage caused by high blood sugar. For seniors, this is particularly valuable because it helps fight inflammation and oxidative stress, 2 hidden processes that quietly drive many of the complications of diabetes. Broccoli also supports weight management, which becomes harder after 60, but remains essential for controlling blood sugar. Its high fiber and low calorie content make you feel full without spiking glucose levels. At the same time, the fiber slows down the absorption of sugar from other foods, keeping your blood sugar steadier after meals. Add the immune-boosting vitamin C and heart-protective antioxidants, and broccoli becomes a true powerhouse for seniors managing diabetes. Whether you steam it, roast it, or stir-fry it, broccoli deserves a regular place on your plate. And if chewing becomes difficult, blending it into soups is another easy way to enjoy its benefits. So, as we can already see, not all vegetables are equal. Spinach and broccoli rise to the top as two of the best foods you can eat after 60 to help manage blood sugar, protect your heart, and strengthen your body against the challenges of diabetes. And these are only the beginning. When we think about vegetables that quietly protect our health, cabbage might not be the first one that comes to mind. It's humble, inexpensive, and often overlooked. But for seniors with diabetes, cabbage can be a game changer. One of the most powerful things about cabbage is its impact on blood sugar. Its glycemic index is virtually negligible, meaning it has almost no effect on your glucose levels. You can eat it without worrying about sudden spikes. But cabbage goes beyond just being safe. Research has shown that red cabbage in particular is rich in anthocyanins, those natural plant pigments that give it a deep purple color. These compounds have been linked to improving insulin sensitivity, lowering fasting blood sugar, and even reducing cholesterol levels. For someone over 60, that's like getting a triple layer of protection in every crunchy bite. There's also strong evidence that cabbage supports kidney health, which is especially important since diabetes increases the risk of kidney complications. Including cabbage in your meals can help your body maintain better balance and resilience over time. And here's the best part: cabbage is versatile. You can enjoy it raw in a crisp salad, stir-fried with spices, or simmered in a hearty soup. It's a vegetable that works with nearly any style of cooking, making it a friend in your kitchen. Now let's turn our attention to tomatoes, another everyday vegetable with extraordinary benefits for seniors managing diabetes. Tomatoes are more than just a juicy addition to salads and sauces. They're packed with a powerful antioxidant called lycopene. Lycopene has been shown to lower blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and improve insulin sensitivity. That means it helps your body use insulin more effectively, which is crucial for maintaining balance as we age. A landmark study even showed that eating raw tomatoes daily helped lower blood pressure in people with type 2 diabetes. That's no small feat, considering how closely linked high blood pressure and diabetes complications are, especially for older adults. On top of that, tomatoes protect the heart by lowering LDL cholesterol and fighting oxidative stress. And since they're mostly water, they naturally support kidney function and hydration, two areas that often become tricky for seniors. Another advantage is how gentle tomatoes are on the digestive system. Their soft texture and low-calorie, low-carb profile make them perfect for seniors who may struggle with chewing or have slower digestion. They're versatile too. Fresh in a salad, roasted, or blended into a smooth soup, tomatoes fit easily into daily meals. In fact, the American Diabetes Association calls them a superstar food for people with diabetes, and it's easy to see why. So far, we've looked at spinach, broccoli, cabbage, and tomatoes, four vegetables that bring enormous benefits to anyone over 60 trying to manage blood sugar, protect their heart, and strengthen their body against the challenges of diabetes. But as much as some vegetables can be your allies, others can quietly work against you. This is where it's important to pay attention, because the foods we think of as healthy aren't always the best choice when blood sugar control is the goal. Let's start with one that many people grew up eating at nearly every meal: potatoes. Potatoes may be comforting, familiar, and versatile, but they're one of the most problematic foods for people with diabetes, especially seniors. Their glycemic index ranges from 78 to over 100 depending on how they're cooked, which puts them in the dangerously high category. To put it in perspective, a baked potato can spike your blood sugar just as fast as a can of soda. For someone whose insulin sensitivity is already reduced after 60, that kind of glucose flood is especially dangerous. Studies have consistently shown that eating more potatoes increases the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. For those who already have it, potatoes can push blood sugar to unhealthy highs, forcing the pancreas to work overtime and increasing the chance of complications. They also contribute very little in terms of fiber or protective nutrients compared to non-starchy vegetables. In fact, one reason potatoes are so problematic is because they offer lots of starch but very little balance.
The trouble doesn't stop there. For seniors, potato-induced glucose spikes can also put extra stress on the heart and blood vessels, raising the risk of cardiovascular issues. Considering that people with diabetes are already at 2 to 4 times higher risk of heart disease, adding potatoes to the mix only makes the situation worse. Of course, many people enjoy potatoes as a staple, and giving them up completely can feel tough. But there are smarter swaps. Choosing non-starchy vegetables like cauliflower, zucchini, or leafy greens can provide the comfort of a hearty side dish without the blood sugar roller coaster. It's not about never eating potatoes again, but about recognizing the impact they have and making them a rare indulgence rather than a regular habit. And potatoes aren't the only starchy vegetable that can be troublesome. Corn, while often thought of as a natural and healthy food, can create real challenges for blood sugar control. With a glycemic index around 60 and nearly 30 grams of carbohydrates per cup, corn delivers a heavy load of starch that quickly breaks down into glucose. For seniors with slower metabolism and reduced insulin efficiency, that rapid sugar release can make blood sugar levels harder to manage. Another concern with corn is that it can trigger inflammation in the body, which adds to the complications of diabetes. Chronic inflammation not only makes blood sugar harder to control, but also increases the risk of heart disease and other conditions common in older adults. Corn also creates what I like to call the false friend effect. It looks and feels like a vegetable, but nutritionally it behaves more like a starchy grain. This can trick people into thinking they're making a healthy choice, when in fact it may be sabotaging their blood sugar management. Enjoying corn occasionally and in small portions may not cause major issues, but making it a regular part of your diet can quietly undo the progress you're working so hard to achieve. We've already seen how some vegetables can quietly sabotage your efforts to manage diabetes, and corn is a good example of that. But it's not the only one that can be deceiving. Green peas, for instance, are often considered a wholesome, comforting food. They're small, easy to prepare, and often show up in soups, stews, or side dishes. Yet for seniors over 60 managing diabetes, peas can bring some unexpected challenges. The main issue is their carbohydrate content. A single cup of green peas contains around 21 grams of carbs, much higher than most non-starchy vegetables, which typically sit around 5 grams per serving. Those carbs, mostly in the form of starch, convert rapidly into glucose once digested. This means that even though peas look innocent, they can cause your blood sugar to climb much faster than you might expect. What makes this more difficult for seniors is that the body's metabolism naturally slows down with age. Insulin sensitivity declines, making it harder to process those sudden glucose surges. The result is that peas, despite their nutritional qualities, can disrupt blood sugar balance if eaten in large amounts. Another challenge with peas is portion control. They're small, soft, and easy to eat in large quantities without realizing it. Before you know it, you've consumed a couple of cups, which means a big carbohydrate load that overwhelms your system. This doesn't mean you have to avoid peas entirely, but it does mean being mindful about how often you eat them and how much you put on your plate. A small handful as part of a mixed vegetable dish may be fine, but relying on peas as a main side dish can be a hidden trap. Now let's move on to another vegetable that often surprises people: butternut squash. With its sweet, nutty flavor, it feels like a healthy comfort food, especially on cooler days. But here's the catch: butternut squash is high in natural sugars and starch. A cup contains about 16 grams of carbs, and its glycemic index is around 75. That puts it firmly in the high category, meaning it can spike blood sugar levels quickly after you eat it. For seniors, this can be particularly problematic. The combination of natural sugars, starchy composition, and slower metabolism after 60 makes butternut squash harder to manage. What feels like a nourishing bowl of roasted squash or creamy soup can actually push your blood sugar into dangerous territory. Another challenge is perception. Many people think of butternut squash as a safe vegetable, so they may serve themselves generous portions, believing they're making a healthy choice. Unfortunately, those larger servings mean even more sugar and starch entering the system, which can quietly undo the progress you've made with careful blood sugar management. That doesn't mean you have to eliminate squash completely. Like peas, it can still have a place in your diet if you're careful with portions and balance it with lower-carb vegetables. But it's important to be aware of its impact so you can make mindful decisions. So now we've looked at both sides of the coin. On one side, we have the champions: spinach, broccoli, cabbage, and tomatoes, vegetables that actively support blood sugar balance, protect the heart, nourish the eyes, and strengthen the body against diabetes complications. On the other side, we have the challengers: potatoes, corn, peas, and butternut squash, vegetables that can send blood sugar soaring, increase inflammation, and add unnecessary strain to the heart and kidneys, especially in seniors. What does this mean for you? It doesn't mean eating has to become a stressful math problem, or that you have to give up every food you enjoy. Instead, it's about awareness and balance. When you understand how different vegetables affect your body, you can choose more wisely. You can lean on the ones that keep your blood sugar steady and enjoy small portions of the others occasionally without guilt. Remember, managing diabetes after 60 isn't just about avoiding certain foods. It's about creating a lifestyle that supports your overall health and well-being. Every small choice adds up. Swapping potatoes for cauliflower mash, choosing a tomato salad instead of corn, or adding spinach and broccoli to your meals can make a real difference over time. And here's something encouraging: it's never too late to benefit from these changes. Even if you've been eating certain foods for years, your body can respond positively once you start making smarter swaps. Studies show improvements in blood sugar, blood pressure, and even energy levels within weeks of adjusting diet. Imagine how much better you could feel a month from now just by making these simple shifts. So as you think about your next grocery trip or your next meal, remember this: your plate can be a powerful tool in managing diabetes. Fill it with the vegetables that help you, limit the ones that hurt, and you'll be giving yourself the gift of better energy, clearer focus, and a stronger, healthier body. I'd love to hear from you. What's one vegetable you rely on to keep your blood sugar steady? And what's one that gives you trouble? Share your thoughts in the comments so we can all learn from each other. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button. It really supports the channel. And if you want more practical, easy-to-follow health tips for life after 60, make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss a new video.